Hi friend, I'm Steph and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a deeper look at the Be, Do, Have model introduced to the world by Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm going to take a slightly different approach to this model, so today is the Be, Do, Have revisited. How many of us are chasing happiness, thinking that once we do enough or have enough, we'll finally feel fulfilled? I've felt this in my life as a wedding photographer, thinking that if I could just get my work to look good enough, if I can get published in certain magazines, win awards, book clients at a certain price point, that I'm finally gonna feel like I'm enough. And while hitting some of these milestones was exciting and fun, and it does at the time feel like it's going to unlock this next level of success and achievement and ultimately fulfillment and happiness, it's very fleeting. It doesn't last very long. It's kind of like eating cake. It's delicious and fun and enjoyable in the moment, but once you've eaten it, that joy is over. It's this fleeting feeling of never enoughness. And no matter how much success you may achieve, it never truly satiates you. So today I want to look at the Be, Do, Have model that was introduced to us by Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So we tend to look at our goals and success as, once I have this, then I can do these things, and then I will be this person that I want to be. Stephen Covey says we need to flip that around and focus on the being before we can work on the doing, and then we can have. So for example, if you want financial success, you must first believe in your ability to create wealth, embrace abundance, and act from a place of responsibility. Then we move into the action. So once we become the right person with the right mindset and values, our actions will naturally follow. We don't have to force it. It just becomes intuitive. It's something that that person, that version of you, will naturally do as a result of who you are. So success isn't something that you chase. It's a byproduct of being and doing the right things. Now, this is a great approach, focusing on being, your self-concept, your identity, and then from that, the action flows and the results follow. However, the problem that often arises with the Be, Do, Have model is that we put happiness as the result. So we are still striving for happiness outside of ourselves. What we really do with that phrase is we turn it into Be, Do, Have, Be. And this is natural. What's happening is the ego will hijack anything it can in order to keep us in a state of misery. So even if we follow Be, Do, Have, many of us are still tying happiness to the end result. I will be happy once I have my dream business or financial freedom, but it's a trap. Happiness is a state of being, not an outcome. So before we even get to the Be, Do, Have model, we need to make happiness the starting line. And we shift our focus and say, first, I need to be happy right now, and then I will take action that aligns with my vision. The results will then flow naturally. Happiness cannot be dependent on achieving something in the future. It must come from within. So we need to really embody the belief. When we have embodied a belief, it is so deeply ingrained within us that it will shape our actions without us needing to think about them. Like if you hook a battery up to a light bulb, the battery is the belief that powers the light or the action, and it cannot go the other way around. So belief must precede action. If somebody really believes that they are socially awkward and an uncomfortable, nervous person, their action that will naturally flow from them is going to be one of hiding and retreating and avoiding uncomfortable social situations. Whereas if someone has a belief that they are a confident and charismatic person who a lot of people like, then they're going to have a naturally easier time attending networking events and putting themselves out there and feeling comfortable around others. When the person who has a deeply embodied belief that they are awkward tries to make the action first before they have shifted their belief, then that action is going to be met with a ton of resistance. It's going to be very challenging, and it's going to be something that will be hard for that person to maintain. So we have to focus on the belief. So that Be, Do, Have model is a really great way to look at this, because when we can shift our self-concept and the way that we view ourselves to be somebody that is confident and has a lot of charisma and is well liked by others, then our actions will naturally follow. But we just have to keep in mind that the goal outcome is not happiness. Happiness is our starting line. And what we're doing, what we're working towards when we try to shift our self-concept is not so that we can become happier, that we can finally find happiness. It's just so that we can experience more flow and ease in the things that we are interested in pursuing. We're all going to continue taking action. There's no doubt about that. If we're alive on this planet, we're doing some sort of action, even if that means we're hiding away from the world. So if we can get ourselves to have a self-concept that aligns with the version of ourselves that we want to be, we're going to have different results come about in our life. The key is not equating that result with happiness. So where does happiness come from? It has to come from within. If you squeeze an orange, what is going to come out of it? Orange juice. And why? Because that's what's inside of it. So if you get squeezed, what is going to come out of you? Whatever's living in you. So if a lot of negativity and resentment and bitterness is living inside, then when we try to do these different types of models or we try to make some sort of change in our life, then what's there to begin with is still what's going to come out. And it's never going to change until we really take a look at that root layer that lies underneath all of it. So a few practical steps to embody your beliefs. First is clear your subconscious beliefs. We can observe our own behavior to see what's lying inside of us. Just like the orange, all you have to do to see what's inside of it is give it a squeeze. Whenever we're confronted with a situation that we have to face and some of these feelings arise, we know that that's inside of us. It's not coming from the external world. The external world may be putting some pressure on us and squeezing us, but what's inside of us is what's coming out. So if you notice yourself feeling chronically unhappy, then there's some stuff going on inside that we need to release and get rid of because it's just blocking our happiness. At the very root of who you are lies happiness. So anything that's not happiness is just a cloud that's covered your sky temporarily, but it's not who you are. So what can we do about this? Well, we need to clear out some of these limiting beliefs and negative self-concepts that are keeping us from experiencing our true nature. One of the techniques that I have found the most success with is just recognizing that those thoughts and beliefs and feelings are not who I am. Stepping back from it and observing that those thoughts and feelings are there, however, they've been programmed into you. That's not who you are. And when you can separate yourself from that, you no longer associate it with your identity and you can just observe it. Like watching cars zooming past you on the highway, the second you step onto that street, you're going to get hit and it's not going to be pleasant. So the same thing with our thoughts and feelings. If we allow them to be there and not make them bad or tell them that they shouldn't be there, just observe them and let them pass. Because they will. Sometimes it helps to even visualize your thoughts and feelings like cars passing. The important thing is to not bypass or tell them that they're wrong and shouldn't be there, because that's basically the same as running onto the street and saying, stop, stop, stop. You're not supposed to be here. It's still going to hurt you. Just let the cars do their thing. Let the thoughts do their thing. Let them come and go. But don't attach to them. Recognize that that's not you. It's past programming. It's past conditioning coming up to show you what's inside. And when we can allow those things to be felt, allow them to be present, not make them wrong, but allow it to exist and just let it pass by, then those clouds can start to dissipate and be cleared out of our system. And we can focus on embodying our new beliefs. Even companies like Apple take advantage of identity marketing because they know that our identities drive our actions. So if we see ourselves as someone depicted in the Apple ads and we identify with that type of person, then what are we going to do? We're going to buy an Apple product. We're going to purchase an iPhone, and then they will have our money. But this is very effective marketing. So the power of identity and self-concept is huge. And if we can really tap into this, we can have some of the types of results that we'd like to see. We just have to keep in mind that happiness is not the outcome. So take a minute to reflect on some beliefs you might be holding onto right now that are just clouding up the true nature of your being. And how might those beliefs be impacting your actions? Since action automatically stems from belief, where in your life might you notice that there are some actions not aligning with the person that you want to be? And what might that mean about the belief that you must be holding that does align with those actions. And then start to just allow those things to pass. Remember that those are just passing cars on the highway, and you can let them go right on by without attaching your identity to them. So follow this Be Do Have model from Stephen Covey, but don't forget that happiness can never be the outcome. Happiness is the starting line, and it is the track that you're running on. Thanks so much for being here with me today, friend. And as always, keep rising.